Good afternoon. Just finishing my fish pie. We've had a good session early on. Just got to share the in-play guru with you to start with. So I hope you can see this okay. Do say hello in the chat. This is a new go live, so hopefully it'll be working today. Bit of camembert on the top of the old fish pie. Very nice indeed. So it's been a good early session. Hi, Stephen. Nice to see you. I'm nearly done. And then we can get going. Hi, Simon. Nice to see you. Well, a good early session. Nearly got the 2-1 Man United. But as ever with trading, you're not after the final score. Hi, Martin. You're not after the final score, are you? You're after the odds movement. If you laid the draw second half Real Madrid, you've got a penalty to thank there. I've just got a bit of noise coming from Soccer 24. So I'm going to fix that. You should only be able to see, I think, the in-play guru. So I can flip between screens, I think. I'll try to get this up on my computer. Hello, Andrew. Welcome to the first go live. So it might be a little bit of a mess, but we'll see how we get on today. So I'm just going to get the YouTube channel up so I can actually see the YouTube channel while I'm going about the other elements. So good start. Got the German Bundesliga beginning now. I'm not sure how to get to the live. Let's have a look. No. I don't know how to view. There we go. So we're viewing the live, and that's it. I can see what you see now. So let's see how that works. Just at the side here. Hello, Bosun. It is Peaky Blinders. Yeah, this is my favourite hat. It's a family heirloom. So I wear it to respect my relatives from Ireland. If I had Cillian Murphy's money, I wouldn't be doing a live stream. Bang goes that fish pie, which was absolutely delicious. So let's just see the in-play guru at the moment, what you're watching. You can say Real Madrid, job done. If you laid the draw there, well done. We can get rid of that. Grenoble and Red Star. Oops. Grenoble and Red Star is a 0-2, 77th minute. Red card for Grenoble, so we can get rid of that. So I hope you can see me changing the screen. Estac Trois, first against third, arguably a bit like Bradford City earlier on. We could have looked at taking on that Trois lead, but they've been red carded as well. So up to you if you wanted to have a look at Estac Trois and Reims. I'll have a quick look at the market for you while we keep the in-play stats alive. So Estac Trois. Are they short enough? Yes, I think they are. Short enough. Down to 10 men for you to have a bit of a tickle. So let me see if I can change this now. I don't know if I can get to my, there we go. So let's see if this works. So this is Estac Trois that you're seeing here. Given the fact that this is a top 4 clash, I believe, and given the fact they've been red carded, and given the fact Reims desperately need some points, this is well worth a bit of a tickle, isn't it? Keep your liability as low as possible, and don't forget to back reams. You can back them for £1. As long as you get over 100, that will be fine. And I'm hearing Soccer 24, so I better get that ready. So that's my first potential play there, Estactoire against Ream. You can see the liability very low indeed, isn't it? So well worth our attention, I think, that particular match. So I'm just getting used to the, have a look again and go back to the guru. Because the key today is to ensure that we have a stats feed. I hope you're not losing me there. I have had trouble with the computer this morning. There we go. We seem to be back at the guru now. I'm just going to get rid of Soccer 24. It's in my ear all the time, all these scorelines coming in. So I'm going to have to get this sorted out. What we normally do with Soccer 24, rather than being alerted to every single goal coming in, which is what's happening at the moment, and it's very, very irritating, I'm going to pick out some odds-on favourites. It's just annoying. So we're going to get a few odds-on favourites. I'll show you Soccer 24, and I'll just mute it because it's just getting on my nerves. There we go. So I'm just getting used to these, the YouTube thing. So we're going to take a look at Soccer 24. It's probably because I've got two of them up. That's why they're annoying the blue part of me. So what I do with Soccer 24, and it's a bit of a delay as we move screens, it seems. Oh, please excuse me. It looks black at the moment. But I'm definitely at Soccer 24. Yeah, there we go. So I might have to go back to the go live and then back in again. So I'm going to collect my odds on favourites because otherwise I'm going to explode with listening to all of these goals coming in. As you can see, the odds on favourites are all listed so far. And then what we're going to do with them, we're going to put them into our My Games facility. Already the Hoff have scored, which is no surprise at all. Goal before half-time after 9 minutes. Wolfsburg, very strong favourites today against a Heidenheim side in a whole heap of bother. And Dortmund, one of my banker bets I would suggest today against St. Pauli, really should score their 2+ goals. Don't forget today it is pre-Champions League. That might be one of the reasons why Manchester City lost earlier on. Could that be one of the major reasons? Inter Milan are leading Udinese 1-0. They'll be happy with that. We've got 3 odds on favourites and 3 teams, I think, involved in Europe next week. Did you get the Venezia equaliser? I hope you did. They're vying for top spot in Serie B, part of a number of good calls earlier on this afternoon or this morning. So I think I've done all of my work with the odds-ons. So what we do here, just to limit the audio alerts, which I don't think you're hearing. I think you're just hearing my microphone. I hope you are anyway. And they go into the My Games facility here. Yeah, I can hear myself as well. Good. Leverkusen, all 7 away, had at least 2 goals before half-time, playing a Hoff who scored 2+ goals before half-time, last 5. Just scored as I typed, said Paul. Indeed, Paul, great angle. Really, with the Hoff, should we get involved right at the start of the match? So that's it with Football 24. Now I can unmute it because I'm not going to be hearing a whole heap of scorelines coming in. I can get rid of another one there. And Football 24, I've got up as well. And what you do with Football 24, you can pick your own leagues. So let me show you Football 24 as I get used to finding YouTube, going to the stream, going back, going to Football 24, share that with you, and then I have to go back again, back to the YouTube stream, so it comes up. I think that's the way it works. You can see we get a black screen. There we go. So Football 24, best thing to do is to pick your leagues here, because otherwise you'll be inundated with alerts. And I think you can't hear my auditory alerts, but I can. So Belgian Jupiler League, certainly interested in that today. Brazil, we can get rid of, move our way down. English Championship, English Premier League. Tough coupon today in the Premier League. 2 more derby matches to come, both London derbies. I hope you played Coventry early on. If you did, these 1.5 shots at home are delivering. We had Venezia equalise. We had Coventry come from behind to get a late winner. I was a bit umming and ahhing with Coventry because I didn't fancy their odds pre-match. German Bundesliga, Bundesliga 3, Greek Super League. Moving on down, Italian Serie A, Italian Serie B. Moving on down, the Dutch Eerste Divisie, the Dutch Eredivisie. We don't want any of this peripheral stuff at all. It'll just irritate. Romania is back, the 1 league. Scottish League 1, League 2 is too illiquid, I'm afraid. So we can't really play that. Primera Division and Segunda in Spain. That's ideal for us. Swiss Super League is returning, and Winter Tour. Very strange odds-on favourites. I think that's either today or tomorrow. They're bottom of the league, so their opponents must be really, really bad. Then you click OK here, and you can limit yourself to leagues of interest. And then you can get rid of any matches which you're not going to be playing. The Greek First Division might be trouble for Inter Milan if it's 0-1 late on. We know Udinese love a draw, and it is pre-Champions League. So that keep an eye out on Penafiel against Portimonense. A red card, as you can see, to the home side. And we're 13 minutes in to the Bundesliga. This is a relegation 6-pointer, Köln and Mainz. Dortmund, you'd expect to score the 2+ goals at home, but St. Pauli will be parking that bus. You can bet. I'm just going to put on my vibration machine so I can get a workout while I'm sitting down. Hamburger at home are far better than they are away. And Wolfsburg, are they just playing a poor side because they themselves are very poor? So we'll go back and have a look at the in-play guru and pick up some matches of interest there. So back to the in-play guru here. Click on the share, go back to the guru, back to the stream, and there we have it. Hopefully you'll be seeing what I'm seeing. There we go. I've got it sussed. Excellent. So Estac Trois, it's a bet to nothing, isn't it? They're top 3 clash, 2-0 up, 10 men. Well worth doing. Now, Quetta, if they start showing these kind of stats at 2.45, the favourite, well, no, it's a bit too late, isn't it? If this was half-time, I would be interested with a 0-3 lead for a 2.45, the favourite match, but with momentum rising as well. But it'll take a minor miracle for them to get anything there. So I think we can get rid of that particular match. Istanbul, Başakşehirspor already odds on and leading. Frosinone and Monza, well, you wait for the second half, I think, and look to lay that draw, because both of these two sides, Frosinone and Venezia, are top 2. Venezia, the onus is on them to get the win, so that draw should be very vulnerable for Venezia at some point in this match. And we'll work our way down. Get rid of some of these. Exeter and Stevenage, 2.45 the favourite. I'm not going to list it at the top. I'll just get rid of some of these And we'll have a first look at the Bundesliga. Köln, Hamburger starting well against Borussia Mönchengladbach. They do have goals in them at home. They do tend to need both teams to score. That's the problem with them. Wolfsburg, the only reason they're favourite really is because Heidenheim are just in awful bother. Wolfsburg themselves are not that hot. So we will see what we will see with them today. Just get rid of a few of these peripheral matches as we work our way down to Serie B. The primary focus for me, Serie B, would have been Venezia earlier on, the absolute standout there. Odds on at home and with desperate need for points. As you can see, the 3 o'clocks are coming on board. Difficult coupon today with quite a few European sides like Crystal Palace, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham in a derby as well. Relegation 6-pointer with West Ham. So we'll work our way down. There's the Penafiel Portimonense match. No real reaction yet from Portimonense. The red card coming in the 6th minute, so it's a very poor reaction. And look at the momentum for the away side. The away side is in brown. We're not seeing anything, are we, reacting to that red card? But second half might see some tactical changes which could change that. It's well worth keeping an eye on red-carded teams. We want to see a reaction, though. That's the thing. We're not seeing anything of late. Real Madrid 2-0. Not a bother at all. Pre-Champions League for them. They're on a 2-match 3-2 losing run. So are they going to lose 3-2 for the 3rd consecutive match with 5 minutes to go? I don't think so, somehow. Well, I think we can get rid of that one. So we're not getting any scores coming in just yet. It's very quiet. I hope I haven't muted. No, I haven't. No, very quiet at the moment. French League 2, job done for Red Star, taking advantage of the 10 men. As you can see, the 3 o'clocks are starting to emerge. We can get rid of Valladolid as well. So 3 o'clocks are all going to be primarily at Soccer 24 for me. I'll just bring the in-play guru back up to the matches of importance. The ones in the blue are the matches which have caught my eye for one reason or another. Frosinone and Venezia, we know, are top 2, and those draws should be vulnerable, shouldn't they? The need for points is great. Look at Venezia's expected goals. That's the kind of thing you'd love to see when a side is conceded and they're 1.5 at home. So I hope you've got involved with that one yourselves. Bundesliga is looking a little quiet, but Hamburg are starting to motor at home. Cologne at home to Mainz. Mainz are on an unbeaten run in all competitions. Could be 5 or more. But you can see that unbeaten run there. And this is, you can see, or you can't see these two sides because they're in the wrong end of the table. The mighty Hoff do tend to score and concede, but don't forget, Bayer Leverkusen were similar odds against Augsburg pre-Champions League, and they cocked it up. So don't forget that. You're likely to see a very defensively minded St. Pauli today away at Dortmund. Can they take advantage of Dortmund's pre-Champions League potential curse? We will see. Dortmund, though, look rock solid at home. 2+ goals scored for fun. In English League One, Peterborough have really caught my eye, working their way up the league thanks to an incredible run of late. They would have been in a spot of bother had they not been putting together these winning sequences. So they're well worth following today, particularly when the market speaks. They've been winning, Peterborough, when the market doesn't fancy them. So that's quite something. Stockport, odds on. Always get a look in these lower tiers, the odds on favourites, because it's a very difficult league to trust. Sunderland and Crystal Palace is a tough nut to crack today. Sunderland, I believe, unbeaten in 10, or unbeaten at home. Crystal Palace are pre-Europe. Oliver Glasner is leaving in the summer. shouldn't impact them today. Liverpool, this is like Real Madrid. It's a nice slow ball pre-Champions League for Liverpool, but do check the team news, which we can do soon, because you might see some Liverpool changes with the Champions League up and coming. Chelsea against Brentford is Rosinia, so big question mark. Are we going to see the Michael Carrick bounce with Chelsea and Liam Rosinia? I don't know. It's a simple unknown. Brentford are the form side, though, so this is not going to be a gimme for Chelsea. But are we going to see an impactful performance under Rosinia? They were very good in the Cup, as you expected them to be, against lower tier opponents. Portsmouth away at Sheffield Wednesday, whose season, well, it ended before it began, with all of those points deducted. Fulham are on a nice unbeaten run at the moment. Leeds, their only defeat recently was that 4-3 humdinger against, I think it was Newcastle. This is typical, 2.3, 2.4, the favourite match. It's two form sides really meeting each other. Could be anything, to be honest. Genk odds on, we'll get a look in the Belgian Jupiler League. Southampton are priced to score 3 goals again. So we'll be looking at them with interest today. And we're running out of space now. So I'm going to have to get rid of a few of these matches once they end, like Estac Trois. And we're at half-time with the Serie A B matches. Got a goal coming in. No, we haven't. Not with my matches, which I'm looking at the moment. So it's a good set of fixtures to focus on. You can see Hamburger, 5 shots on, 4 off. Can you see that? 84 momentum. I gave you that team earlier on, scoring before half-time. They hit 100 plus on the momentum. Now look at Hamburg. They're on 90 plus on the momentum. Second red card for Penafiel. So watch out, Portimonense. If they can't win, they must be managed by Ruben Amorim or something, playing against 9 men, second half. So if you see the draw, and I've got to confirm that red card, because sometimes it gets it wrong. It's confirmed at Football 24. 2 red cards for Penafiel. So that's a match for you to look into. Hamburg and Borussia Mönchengladbach. I'll just bring up the market for that one. We got a suspended market, Estac Trois and Reims. Has there been a goal? I'm just, well, it's probably, if there has been a goal, it's come a little bit too late to really impact anything there. Indeed, it's 2-1 to Stade Reims. So get your prayer mat out, because I've got a 40 quid profit if Stade Reims can make it 2-1. We could have done with that goal coming a lot earlier, couldn't we? So I'm just going to share the Penafiel market with you once I get it up and running. And it looks like we might have seen a goal from Penafiel because the market's just changed. Portimonense have scored. Yeah, there we go. Totally ignoring us traders who would have been itching to get on. I got the market up for you, but the goal has come. What a pity. I'm just going to have a look at the draw odds. Well, the draw would have been something around 3s, 3.5, which against 10 men. Wow, that would have been an absolute dream ticket there. So my apologies. I couldn't get that to you. Or I was waiting for half time, to be perfectly honest. 45th minute. But I'm going to bring up Hamburger and Borussia Mönchengladbach. And once I've got the market up, I will pass on the screen to you. So we'll keep an eye out on the in-play stats at the moment. Hamburger half-time markets would be the primary source here. I would tend to go, in a case like this, 1-0 and 2-0. So let me bring these up for you. Just trying to work out the fiddly bits. So let me get that YouTube market up, not the YouTube, the market up for you. So back to here, click on here, back to here, off to here, click on that, go back to the YouTube, and then go back again, and you should have the Hamburg market. What I'm going to do in a case like this would be a 1-0, 2-0 in the halftime score market using variable profit Dutching. Okay. What I would do, I would start loading up on the 2-0 because it's at 24s. Get stuck in. You can see the liability is very low indeed. We're really after that hamburger goal. And look at that. I would have a marginal profit on the 1-0, but I'm really looking for the big bucks for that 2-0. So I'm going to submit that. For a halftime market, it's liquid enough. And you can see there 1-0 and 2-0 in the halftime score markets there. That's what I would be looking at primarily. So we'll get back to the in-play stats. So I'd be looking at getting the in-play guru up. So I go to the guru, go back to the stream, and you should have the guru up now. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. The momentum is consistent. 25 minutes in is why 2-0 at 20 plus is pretty decent. Mönchengladbach not landing a blow at the moment. 101 again for Hamburger. This is what happened in that previous match I got to you on Telegram, where we got that goal before half time. So this could be very interesting indeed. I'm going to get rid of Penafiel and Portimonense now. I was waiting for the second half. Would have been a lovely lay the draw there against 9 men. So we're just going to see, can they convert? We know at home they're a pretty solid unit. They've got those wins against Stuttgart with the last gasp goal and a 3-2 win against, or was it more, against Werder Bremen with a second half goal as well. They're not really renowned for their first half goals, Hamburger. They're far, far better at home than they are away. Borussia Mönchengladbach are quite simply one of those teams where, like Hoffenheim, if the market has them at odds on, they tend to deliver like they did against, I think it was Augsburg recently. Which you could probably tell. We've got a goal coming in. Mainz have scored first against FC Köln. 2.15, the favourite this particular match. It's a relegation 6-pointer. I'll have to move the screen down so you can actually see. This is a must-win for Mainz, quite simply. It might not take them out of the bottom 3 today, but it will put them equal on points with Augsburg. It's teams like this at this stage of the season you cannot discount. Köln, a win for them. Could take them into the top 10, for goodness sake. Unbelievable, Jeff. 20 points with a win today. Could take them top 10 if results continue as they are, with Mönchengladbach likely to take a beating from Hamburg. And you can see Hamburger need points as well today. They're on 16. So it's all to play for. When we see momentum like this, it's a very good metric. It normally does suggest a goal will arrive at some point. So let's take a stroll through these matches. These are my shortlisted matches. We've got the 3 o'clocks just about to kick off. We can go off to Soccer 24 and have a look at the odds on favourites there as well, see how they're performing. What I would look at second half, particularly for the Venezia match, would be for Venezia to go on and get a winner. 1.8, the favourite, Venezia Catanzaro. It's just, they look good. 1.52 expected goals, you'll see, lighting up here. Compare that to the 0.19 for Catanzaro, and we're quite clear, aren't we? It is a top 5 clash, so fair enough. But the onus really is on Venezia to get 3 points, take them to 41. And with Venezia drawing currently, Venezia might still go top with a draw today, of course, but it will narrow the gap hugely. I don't know if Italian Serie B is anything like the German Bundesliga 2, which is very difficult for teams to get out of. There's only 3 places available in the Bundesliga 2. I can have a quick look myself while you're looking at the in-play stats and confirm to you the Italian Serie B. How many places are available? Well, it's very, very good. 8 places available. The top 2 will go up automatically. 3rd to 8th will enter the playoffs. So Catanzaro are in 5th place. They got their important 30-plus points. There's only 5 teams on 30-plus points. They must keep the pressure up. But Venezia will possibly go top with a win if Frosinone lose today and Venezia win. So there's 8 places available. But if you look at Bundesliga 2, and there's 5 places at the bottom, 2 of the teams, 16th and 17th, will be playing relegation playoffs. Compare that to the Bundesliga 2, and you can see why the likes of Hertha Berlin and Hamburger have had an awful time getting out of the league. Only 3 places available. Darmstadt will be playing one of the Bundesliga relegation sides for a playoff, and the top 2 will go up. Elversberg are having a quite remarkable season. Old Elvis losing earlier on today, 3-2 to Nuremberg, and that's another one I called out for you, that Desmond Tutu, which I hope you got involved in. So certainly Venezia, second half, lay the draw at some point. FC Köln, we'll keep an eye on them because it is a relegation 6-pointer, and Mainz very, very rarely win matches. I'll just pass on that information to you, how many Mainz have won this season, and it's not a pretty sight at all. Find themselves in that relegation playoff place, 3rd bottom. So they'll be playing 3rd top from the Bundesliga 2. And I would always favour the Bundesliga side against the Bundesliga 2 side, to be honest with you. Their only wins, Mainz, have come against the bottom 4. That perhaps tells you the story today. They're playing 13th, who they lost 1-0 to earlier on this season. So this might not be over. 2.15 home favourites, FC Köln. But being a relegation 6-pointer, it's difficult for me to really stump up any enthusiasm about this particular match. Hope I'm not missing any comments. If you are commenting, I'm not getting any, but I hope it's nice and quiet. No comments. That's fine. Good. So Burton Albion have scored first against Huddersfield. Burton having a good season. Hoffenheim 1-0 up. No problem. Hamburger, can they get that goal before half-time? What we really needed was a conversion at the top here when they were hitting 100. That's what we really needed today. Newport County against the Gills, but it's not being alerted to in my odds-on favourites. Yes, we have. We've got an odds-on favourite goal coming in. Gillingham and Newport County. Gillingham, 1.56 favourite, are a goal down. That's why I do the odds-on favourites list. So what I'm going to do with that now, we're going to get the Gills up here. Gillingham. So if we can find Gillingham, we're going to keep an eye. We want to see a reaction from them. We want to see why they are 1.56 favourite pre-match. So let's see if I can find Gillingham at home, probably English League 2. So let's have a look at the match. I'll just confirm what league they're in. So this is why I do the odds-on favourite list. It is League 2, Gillingham and Newport. So I'm just going to see if I can find that up here, because we do need to keep an eye on the stats for Gillingham and Newport. Maybe I accidentally hid it, so I'm going to have to unhide all of this lot and start all over again. So if you've got the Guru, you can sort by league and it will do it in alphabetical order. So we're going to go English League 2. We need to keep an eye on Gillingham. We want to see if we're going to get a reaction. We want to see why they're such a strong favourite. That's the main reason. So got a bit of a way to go to England, all the way down here. English League 2. And I'm not going to be rushing in to any of these odds-ons because these leagues are the kind of leagues which will steal your money. It's quite simple. They're just totally unreliable. I've had many, many instances of 20 plus shots on target, 10 corners, and they lose 0-2. You can't really make it up in these lower tiers. So let's have a look, see if we can find Gillingham. And we're going to be certainly looking at this particular, maybe our Gillingham against Newport County. What we're looking at is a reaction. Why are they 1.52 favourites? I can do a quick look at that myself while we keep an eye on the in-play stats. You can see Hamburger. Still, we could have done with that goal coming in while they were at the top of that momentum peak that you see there. Right at the top of that momentum peak. This keeps refreshing itself downwards. So I'm just going to have a quick look at Gillingham in English League 2 for you. So let's just see, why are they such strong favourites today? I don't follow these leagues implicitly, so I do need to do a little bit of research in the background. So in the meantime, I'll try to give you the in-play stats feed, or at least Football 24. I'll stick with the in-play stats feed. I won't be long. Just got to check out the Gills. So let's have a look. Gillingham. 17th against Newport. League position, firstly. Recent form, well, they're in awful form. 2, 4, 5, 7 draws in the last 9 winless matches. They've won only 1 match since the 27th of September, and they've got 5 consecutive draws, albeit they're all score draws on the Diana doors. So we might have something there as far as getting a goal back. Newport County must be awful. That's all I'm saying there. Scored and conceded in the last 7 home matches, Gillingham. Newport County, well, they are bottom of the league, so automatically. And they did beat Gillingham 1-3. Or Gillingham beat Newport 1-3 the last time these two met. So, Gillingham are 16th. Newport bottom of the league. Newport's 3 away wins have come against 14th. That was a 1-0. 21st and 23rd. So they've come against 2 of the bottom 4. So really on paper, it's no wonder that Gillingham, well, have fancied at least to get a draw, I would suspect. I wouldn't be backing them to get the win. And look at that momentum for Newport County. It's hitting 61. So they might follow up with a second goal. You just never know. Norwich have scored first against Wrexham. Wrexham, well, are they going to be any good for a score draw today? They're not one of my odds-ons. At least I don't think so, because otherwise I would have been alerted to that. The odds-on favourites now are Genk away at Zolta-Valagem, Chelsea odds-on in a London derby, Liverpool odds-on against Burnley, pre-Champions League, Tottenham odds-on in a London derby. We've got Charlton, Sheffield United odds-on away, Portsmouth odds-on away, and Southampton. I suggest Southampton could be good for 3 goals today. You might be able to see that. I'll just show you the odds-on favourite list so you can have a look yourself. I hope you can see what I'm seeing. And it's just to show you who our odds-on favourites are today. So as you can see, Genk against Zolta-Valagem. Premier League, 3 odds-ons at home. Liverpool would be the strongest, I would suspect there. Chelsea, Rosinia against a Brentford in really good form. West Ham desperately need points, but what is it? They've conceded in the last 18, I believe, the Hammers. All sorts of bother there. Sheffield United normally have 3 goals in them at the very best. Their odds on away from home. Sheffield Wednesday, gettable all day long, aren't they? Their season is over. And Southampton, possible 3 goals for them today, 1.53. Have been scoring 3 goals once they got rid of that previous manager quite regularly. League One, we've got Barnsley, Peterborough. Peterborough would be the strongest of those odds-ons there. They've been winning when not even fancied. Stockport County as well, 1.46. And we've got, as you can see, Gillingham, a goal down to Newport County. All odds-on favourites today in English League Two are at home. Crewe, Oldham and the Shrews. French Ligue 1 coming a bit later on. Lens vying for the title. Paris Saint-Germain winning yesterday, pre-Champions League Paris Saint-Germain. Saint-Etienne, I'll be following that later on. Newly relegated and really enjoying it in French Ligue 2. Dortmund kept quiet. The Wolf quiet so far, 42 minutes. Second half goals, I would suggest, particularly for Dortmund. This is their modus operandi, and I will double check all that for you during the halftime break. If it remains 0-1, Udinese Inter, I think we might see some Inter Milan substitutions about the 60th minute to try and get that second goal. Second half, the beginning for the odds-on favourites at home. Surprised to see Monza odds-on against Frosinone, who are top 2. But Venezia certainly deserve to be odds-on against Catanzaro. That would be something to follow. 1.46 home favourite. Should get the job done if they've got any chance of cementing the top 2 berth. So those are our odds-ons at the moment. There we go, Liverpool under 21s. I must have picked them out earlier on, 1.91. We can get rid of that one. Well, we've got a low heap of goals coming in, so I'm just going to return to the in-play guru. Make sure we can keep an eye on the goals coming in. So I hope you can see the guru. I have to go back to the YouTube screen again. And hopefully that will... There we go. There we go. That brings it up. Great. So I've got some scorelines coming in, but they're not of any great importance. Otherwise, I'd have had an alert to them. Nothing greatly appeals. A lot of Scottish goals. A red card for Barnet against Grimsby. That might be of interest. I do like red carded matches. It's English League 2. So we're going to bring that one up. Stockport Rotherham 1-0. Liverpool already out of the blocks, as you can see, against Burnley. Burnley really shouldn't be landing a blow today, should they? So we'll be keeping an eye on that one for you. Really shouldn't be getting anything from Burnley. Liverpool must start to win. They're on a run of 3 consecutive score draws, which is probably a bit disconcerting for the manager. They would prefer not to have a whole bunch of score draws at the moment. I think they would be very, very happy if they can get the 3 points today against Burnley. Shouldn't really be landing a blow, Burnley, should they? In any way, shape or form today. We've got the goals coming in. We'll have a quick look. So second half, keep an eye on Venezia. I would expect that draw to be vulnerable at some point. And you can see already the momentum rising from them. The onus is on them to do something today, Venezia, that's for sure. So I'll get the market up and ready and have a look at it for you. The draw is quite reasonable at 2.76 if you wanted to have a go on that today. So I'll show you that in a second. Are you going to delay a little bit longer? in the Venezia match. Just to see them gain a little bit more momentum. It's a good sign, isn't it? Odds on at home. Got a few goals coming in. And Heidenheim scored first against Wolfsburg. And what a pity Dortmund have scored just before half-time against St. Pauli. We were heading towards a couple of 0-0s at half-time, which would have been very exploitable second half. Dortmund have an excellent record of scoring second half. What a pity they got a goal before half-time. But this is interesting. Heidenheim scoring first. They're not quite come up on the guru just yet. But Heidenheim's opening goal. Heidenheim opening goal against Wolfsburg. It's going to be interesting, this one, because they're not fancy today and they're in pretty poor form. So we'll wait for confirmation of that. It seems to have come in. And there's the in-play gurus taking a while to come in. So what a pity we're getting that Dortmund goal before halftime. That's very disappointing. Very disappointing. But Heidenheim and Wolfsburg could be of interest for the second half. I'll do a little bit of a check. And watch out if Plymouth score first as well. They've started brightly. Peterborough have been in really good form, eye-catching form, to be honest with you. At home, at odds on, might be reliable today. Stockport already odds on, leading, so I think I can get rid of that one as far as needing to follow it. Liverpool looking bright. Southampton looking bright as well against Hull. Southampton do tend to have that 3-goal habit in them. So even though Hamburger didn't quite get the goal before half-time, we needed them to get that goal up there. Southampton certainly have it in them to score 3 goals, and I'll just confirm whether they're back on the 3-goal hunt, because that was a real pattern under their new manager, Southampton, sorry. Let me just bring that up. It's taking a while to load. So I'll share this tab. Hopefully you can see it. So great, I can move to this tab straight away so you can see that we're just going to do a little bit of a look in Southampton. There we go, look at this. This is what I've noted. 3, 3, 3, 3, 2. Who are they playing today? They're playing Old Rod up here. Pretty poor record though, the Saints, but they're odds on today. So is there something about Hull City that the market's not telling us? Injury concerns, maybe? Any of you Hull fans out there? Anything going awry with Hull? I don't know. They're in pretty decent nick, to be honest. 3 1-0 scorelines in the last 4 suggests a defensive soundness, but that 2-2 against Sheffield Wednesday is a bit alarming, having to come back twice as well. So it's a strange market. They've scored in the last 11 matches, Hull. But Saints are priced to be on a 3-goal habit today. And indeed, look at Hull. A bit of a mixed bag, losing to 10th, 11th and 13th. I don't understand the market today at all. I don't understand the market. But it's accurate, isn't it? When you see this, are you willing to go in and have a look at the let's just see if I can get you back. Are you willing to have a look at the market? 3 shots on, 4 off target for the Saints. A bit like Hamburger. And indeed, I think we might have a play here with Hull scoring first. Unbelievable. It's a tricky one now because Hull are in decent nick, aren't they? But Southampton are priced to be very, very competitive. So I'm going to look on that one, potentially, I think, with interest. But having just done the research, let's bring you back to this. having done the research, Hull don't look too shabby, do they? If we go to the challenge tables, which hopefully you'll get to in a second. Southampton have not beaten the top 8 side home or away, and they're playing 7th today. Hull, bit hit and miss, as I keep saying, away from home, but have scored 2+ goals in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 away matches. Why on earth are the Saints 1.53? Anyone know why? I can't pin it, particularly when they're on a poor run as well. They are priced to score 3 goals like they have done in that wonderful run. This was the new manager bounce, isn't it? Quite clearly. But then reality hits, or it's just a tough coupon. You can't discount this, can you? So, I'll keep an eye on that one. There might be a play, might be an equaliser in it. Atletico Bilbao are in Europe, and they have conceded first to Real Mallorca, who are at their best at home. I'm not going to be laying that one, to be honest. Atletico Bilbao are just awful. It's as simple as that. Hamburg and Borussia Dortmund, we would be expecting a second half goal in this one, because Hamburg at home, when they got their wins, have tended to get their wins when, second half goals, but they do tend to concede first. So it would be a stretch to think that this is going to end 0-0. And Plymouth Argyle have scored against Peterborough, and we were seeing it, weren't we? The early momentum. So this is another match with a potential trade in mind. But given the fact it's lower tier, like Gillingham, like Saints, I'm going to have to keep an eye on the in-play stats. But do you fancy Southampton? The market had them very strong favourites today. Very much season long. You wouldn't be discounting Hull. But why, oh why, are the Saints such strong favs? And have a look. Hull injury news. Injury ravaged Hull City. So there we go. So these are the stories. There's always a reason why there's a 1.52 favourite, and it's not because Hull are in the Champions League. Injury ravaged Hull City. Is that the reason for that? As you can see, the headlines here. Injury ravaged. So it's always worth looking in because they're in such good form. It's very strange, season-long form. It's 12 senior players fit for Southampton, down to the bare bones. Hull FC halfback has provided. There we go. So let's have a look at this particular bit of team news. And this might suggest that we could take on this Hull City lead. So let's have a look. First time since I've coached so many injuries. 11 players right now off the pitch, 12 senior players. Very concerned the injury crisis could derail his promising season. Right. Okay, so this could be our green light to have a go at this Hull City lead. Would you agree? Are you willing to go with the injury crisis, despite the fact that season long they are a very, very good side? So let me see. I'm going to get off to the Hull match for you. And before you stare at my ugly mug any longer, I'll get the Hull odds up and running and might have a possible play here for you. So let me get to the YouTube. And we're going to go to have a look. Let's see if this will work. So hopefully we can take you to the whole match. Chelsea have the lead against Brentford, so I'm not sure what's going on here. It's just showing a window. It needs to be. There we go. Got it. So this is the whole match. I think, given the injury crisis, despite the fact that they're in such good form, you can lay over 1.5 goals. And I would be cautious if Southampton +1. If Southampton +1 is reasonable enough, we could look. Well, 1.5. I would prefer to stay Southampton +1, to be honest with you, because I'm not too sure. But we'll have to go match odds because it's 1.5 only. Unless you're happy with 1.5, be backing Saints at 2.58 or as near to it, and you'd be laying Hull. I tend to lay in the third column, so I'm guaranteed to get matched. So this is what you'll see here. £10 loss on the draw if we can get a draw. Total net loss of about 14 quid if it ends in a draw. But it's all dependent on whether we get a goal before half time. That will get these odds moving. And you could see yourself with a nice green screen. So we've got lots of goals coming in. So let me get back. I'm getting used to this. I'll be a lot quicker with a few more of these under my belt. Go and have a look at the guru again. Make sure we keep an eye on the in-play stats. So we've done our research with Southampton. It was strange to see Hull, a side in such good form, not really fancied. But now we know the reason why. So I've had a bit of a go on that one. Monza are starting to wake up against Frosinone. Monza are third, so we've got the top 3 playing today. This is an ideal chance for Venezia then, if they can just get themselves a goal. 1.76 expected goals for Venezia. No shots on target second half. 10 shots off target. Playing 5th in the league, Catanzaro. So this is a top 5 set of fixtures here in the Italian Serie B. So 1-1 Burton Albion and Huddersfield. Waiting for the second half for FC Köln. Can they do anything in this particular match? Hamburger, surely a lay the draw second half would be beneficial, particularly as they need points and particularly as they are far better at home. Hamburg. Let's just have a quick look at Hamburger's home form. Hopefully you can see the screen. Hamburger against Mönchengladbach. Taking a while. Work our way down. Challenge table will be the best way to start, and that's here. So playing Mönchengladbach today, who haven't had a win home or away against these top sides, but are competitive here, aren't they? Hamburger in the no man's land. And there's that equaliser for Gillingham against Newport County. I didn't play it. Did you? Hamburger, great win against Stuttgart with a last gasp goal. Second half goal win against Werder Bremen. Stuck in my mind recently. Only 2 losses. One of them was a 1-0. So they could be competitive if conceding the first goal. Not scored that second goal, really. Mönchengladbach against sides above the top 2, the bottom 2. So second half, let's see if we can view the second half stats. We'll need, I think, ideally to look at the H2H here rather than this particular page. So you go to view and stats, view stats and matches for both teams. Got goals coming in. Crystal Palace have scored first against Sunderland. Sunderland unbeaten at home. Crystal Palace pre-Europe, so I'll have to keep an eye on the in-play stats there. Hamburger, as you can see, only the one loss since the 20th of September. Pretty solid stuff at home. 1-1 against Frankfurt. Not a bad side, Frankfurt, at all. 3-2, that what's stood in mind. Looks like Albert Sambi Lokonga is the main boy there. He's got a couple of consecutive goals, Lokonga. Mönchengladbach, 2 consecutive away defeats against big-name sides this season, at least Dortmund and the Hoff. We're looking at goal times, really, for second-half goal-scoring records. Hamburg at home, 62% of the goals scored at home have come second half. And Mönchengladbach away, well, 64% of the goals scored, 42% of the goals conceded, but they concede very late as well. I think we should be seeing a goal here, second half, to be honest. So we'll keep an eye on that one as the goals keep coming in. So Venezia, plenty of shots off target. They're keeping Catanzaro quiet. You can see the momentum for Catanzaro is non-existent at the moment. So that's a positive for us. But we just got to see a few more shots on target for Venezia, and then they can potentially cross the line. As the top two are playing each other, it's an ideal time to have a look. We've got a goal in an odds-on favourite match coming in. That's Bazak Sahir's score. So I don't know if you played Gillingham or not. I couldn't keep a regular eye on it, and I wasn't seeing anything apart from, well, a slight rise in momentum there, which suggested something. Liverpool, 1 shot on 8 off and 3 corners after 33 minutes against Burnley, Burnley are going to park the bus. You know that. Monza, 13 shots off target. Sunderland, quick equaliser against Palace. I wouldn't have played that quickly myself, but they are unbeaten in 10 at home if you played that one. Köln and Mainz, we're waiting for the second half. Hamburg waiting for the second half. Bayer Leverkusen, not to be trusted pre and post Champions League, I'm afraid. So I wouldn't, even though they might equalise, I wouldn't be putting my hopes on them. Liverpool have missed the penalty, says Stuart. Hull is now 2-0. So the injury hit, that's what I was risking, the injury crisis. And it looks as if they're reverting to seasonal form. It'll be certainly one I think I would top up on and hope that the injury crisis hits. But it was a strange market, wasn't it? Given they were in such good form. What I normally do to top up would be to lay Hull just with a £5 liability and back the Saints with a £5 stake. If we can get a 1-2, that will be your actual first exit point. You'll make a far less of a loss. My current liability is £23, which is tolerable. I wouldn't dismiss that. But yeah, seasonal form is obviously showing for Hull City there rather than the injury crisis, which was priced up in the market. Liverpool, as you can see, they're hitting 95 on the momentum. Are they going to convert before half-time? Dortmund got it just on the cusp of half-time. And Monza have made those 13 shots off target count with a 2-1 against Frosinone. Now that's going to make life interesting for Venezia now. Frosinone losing will remain on 41 points. Monza winning will go to 40. Venezia drawing will go to 39. So we're not getting that shot on target that we need for Venezia, are we? Lots of noise with the shots off target, but nothing with the shots on target, which is what we desperately need. And it's 0-2 to West Ham against the Spuds. Pre-Champions League, Tottenham, relegation 6-pointer for West Ham. Liverpool hitting the hundreds. We can have a look at the Liverpool odds. We've got a goal disallowed. And that's no, it remains 0-1 to West Ham. Liverpool are hitting the 30s. Sorry, the 99s in the momentum, as you can see there. Does that suggest a goal before half time? Let's have a look. Liverpool and Burnley. Half-time score. Well, it's a illiquid market. So not really as liquid as the hamburger match, strangely enough. So can't really play that one, which is a real pity. Liverpool 3.45 to back. Again, it's a very strange illiquid market. The draw is layable at 1.47, but a big gap, 1.41 to back, 1.44 to lay, which is awful, really is. I would certainly lay the draw a little bit later if it was anywhere near 1.25, just in case Liverpool snuck a goal in, like Dortmund did before half-time. They are backable at 1-0 at 4s, 2-0 at 29s, but not for much money. I might have a look at that one and see if we can get anywhere there. I'll bring up that market for you if I can get to it. So let me just see if I can show you the market. Not much money in there in the first half. You can see that 4.3 at 1-0, 2-0 at, well, it was 29s. This is the problem. It's not as sturdy a market as we've got with the hamburger match, because the 2-0s were at 29s just a moment ago. You won't be taking any of this nonsense here, 17s. Alternatively, you could lay under 1.5 goals. That's certainly an excellent idea. That's effectively the same as backing 2-0, isn't it? And you can look at the liability. It's minuscule. And if we get a Liverpool goal quickly, they might follow up. Laying under 0.5 goals. Well, it's getting short. 1.35. But the liability is going to be rising a lot quicker for a lot less. So this is exactly the same, really, as backing 1-0 and 2-0. But you're involving both teams, aren't you? So rather than going this route where you get better odds, but it's totally illiquid, these markets are normally quite liquid, aren't they? That would certainly appeal if they can convert quickly that 1-0 to make it 1-0, that 100 plus on the momentum. I'm just getting the guru back up. So we'll just go back and show you. There are 111 on the momentum, which is very appealing. I'll just show you that. $111. Can they get that goal before the 40th minute? Would be excellent, because that would really wake up that 2-0, wouldn't it? Or over 1.5 goals. Venezia are waking up. 3 shots on target, 14 off, 4 corners. Red card, Catanzaro. Now, are you willing to play the draw in the Venezia match? They've got a good chance today. The draw is at 1.95. Is that value for you? Do you see that as a spot of value? 13 minutes is the negative. But Catanzaro's red card and the need for Venezia to win while Monza are beating Frosinone. Is that enough for you to lay the draw? You could have a third of liability as an out, which if you lay now, I'll just see if I can do the maths for you. Go to the ladder interface. Third of liability as a loss would be all the way down to about 1.49. Would be down to 1.49 from a current 1.9. So if you wanted an out, if they don't score before then, you can see they're starting to rise. 3 shots on, 4 off, 14 off. Can they score? Can they score? They do need the win. Frosinone have been red carded as well, which should play nicely into Venezia's hands. They've been given all of the options to get the win today, haven't they? And to move into that second place, the prized second place, or retain that prized second place and even move top on potential goal difference with Frosinone, with Monza leading, I think now 2-1. It's a minus goal difference for Frosinone with a plus goal difference if Venezia can get the win. So everything is lining up for them to do something here. The clock is not their friend. Liverpool had the goal before half-time. Good stuff. So did you get involved with that one? Let's have a look. You'll have a profit. Now you'll have ignited the 2-0. So let's have a look. This is why I was so excited. Yeah, guaranteed a profit now of 16 quid for me to a £5 liability. And I can even take 4 quid profit out of the under 1.5 goal lay. And you come out of there with a 20 quid green. Or you could wait and see whether Liverpool can make it 2-0. And if they can make it 2-0, you'll not only make that 16 quid, you're guaranteed a profit anyway. From the 0.5, you'll make an additional 53 quid from over 1.5. So excellent stuff. Let me just show you that screenshot there. Well worth it, wasn't it? I know it didn't work for Hamburger, but it did work for Liverpool. And I've lost the screen again, so I can't show you that. It's a pity. I'll have to get used to this. This is the Football 24. Okay. Just because I'm on a virtual private server, that's why it's just a little bit difficult to scrape through there. As you can see, we're getting the odds on favourite goals at the bottom of the screen here. Dortmund making it 2-0. What a pity that it was 0-0 at half-time, eh? 1-0 at half-time, because we should have got involved there, shouldn't we? Odds on favourites, Oldham against Cheltenham. I missed that one. Quick equaliser there. Gillingham equaliser, for those of you who know these lower tiers better than I do. Please don't wait for me to make any plays. Sheffield United might scupper their plans today. And we're just going to see. I know I shouldn't really have played that Southampton match because they didn't look like odds-on favourites at all. They've been in really poor form. But I did my research, and it looked like Hull would do something. Sunderland and Crystal Palace 1-2. And Köln had the equaliser against Mainz, so that's another one I've missed out. This is entire screen, so let me just see. That will take me off to nice and easily straight to my, there we go, good. So this is the Liverpool match. You could have made an extra £4 here, but you are guaranteed a profit here, guaranteed. So you could sit on this, hope for a 2-0, even a 1-1, because you've gone neutral. But you can see now why I love doing this 2-0, because it's an excellent way of getting stuck in, isn't it? So just to avoid the TARDIS look, I'll get back to the guru. Nothing much doing there. Crystal Palace just had a goal disallowed. Ajax have taken the lead against Go Ahead Eagles. Ajax, are they involved in the European club competition? They might be liable. Go Ahead Eagles have been in good recent form. Hopefully you're going to see the stats come up. There we go. They've been in good recent form, Go Ahead Eagles, so I wouldn't be discounting them at all. Venezia, are you going to be laying that draw yet? Or are you going to wait? What I like to do is time pressure. So something like we've got 87th minute. They've only got 3 minutes plus extra time to get the winner, because they will go potentially top with a win. They're starting to collect shots on target, but it's too many shots off target. Playing 10 men. Can they do it? This was probably a play we missed. What a pity. And Monza guaranteed that 2-1 against Frosinone. It's just been guaranteed, I think. So, come on, Venezia. This is a problem playing these Serie B sides and the lower tiers. Some of them just don't perform. Hamburger, second half. They've started where they finished in the first half. Are you going to be laying the draw there? Hamburger against Borussia Mönchengladbach. The 2 wins they had, which stuck in my mind, and they've been scoring regularly as well. It's 67%, was it, of goals come second half for Hamburger. So it's a good stat. Can they deliver? We were expecting them to deliver first half, but they've continued where they left off, haven't they? 22 shots. 22 shots for the Hamburger. And Frosinone have got a 2-2. So it's important now that Venezia get the 3 points, because Frosinone are still dropping 2 points today. Definitely one for a late play here. If you're waiting, only 2 shots on target, second half. It's awful stuff. Hamburger. I'll have a look at the Hamburger odds. It's a tricky laying the draw with 2 sides like this, because they're not the sharpest tools in the box this season, especially Mönchengladbach. But the draw is, again, 2.38, so you get a decent return. And you can always get out with a third of liability as loss if you fancied that as well. So that's always an option if you're a little bit squeamish about wanting to lay the draw. But you can certainly see 10 shots on, 12 off target for Hamburger. Momentum is continuing as it was in the first half, but they're not crossing the line. They're a bit like Venezia here, just dominating, playing 10, but just can't cross the line. Now we're getting to that stage. Might have a look at the Venezia odds. Have a look at the Venezia odds here. And it looks like we've got a win. They've done it. They've done it. Excellent stuff. Phew. So I got the draw at 1.98. Did you lay that draw? Did you lay that draw? Everything aligned for them today. If they hadn't have got that win, I think their manager would have had a coronary bypass, wouldn't he? So I better lock that one in. Did you lay that draw? Frosinone now is a 2-2. That could be a Desmond to lay late on, couldn't it? Just going to see if that... I want to get the bleep out of Dodge here. I don't trust Venezia. They've huffed and puffed all afternoon. There we go. Now you can revert to the Monza match, because a draw with Venezia winning does not help these two at all. We're getting to that stage of the match now where it's looking layable. Now, if you go to soccer24.com, you can follow the match or follow the live, positioning. And they're making it 3-1. Fantastic stuff for Venezia, or are they? You can look at the live standings and you can now see the importance of that Venezia win. From now on to April, this will be one of the elements of your trading, is to look at these areas of motivation here. Look, boom. Frosinone with that draw are staying top. Monza with a win will go to 41. Still equal on points. Frosinone with a win will broaden the gap between themselves and Venezia by 2 points, because this is as things stand. So you can see the importance of that win for Venezia today. Could be making it 3-1 as I speak. So Monza, Venezia, Monza and Frosinone, you could start laying the draw. I could show you drip laying, how I do it anyway. I start with a fiver, anything 1.25 and lower. Go to 1.19. Go to 1.14. And now I can up it a bit. 1.09, 11 quid, because it's just under a quid liability. And the beauty, 1.06, 17 quid, which is a quid liability. If all of these get matched, it's something like about a 10-to-1 return. And given the importance of the win in this particular match, we might see it go to the very end. At the very least, if we get a goal between now and when it hits 109, at least you'll make an unexciting return, but a return all the same. So good stuff there. These are all our odds-on favourites, as you can see. And there's a confirmation of the 2-1, nearly a 3-1 for Venezia. Excellent stuff for them. So we're just waiting to see whether Monza can do the job, or Frosinone, because they both could do with that win today. Looks like FC Köln have turned it around second half against Mainz. It is a must-win for both of these two, given where they are in the league. So you'd be laying that late draw, wouldn't you? I wouldn't be doing it now. I don't think I could trust these two to do it now. But I would be doing it later on. This is typical pre-Champions League Bayer Leverkusen. Haven't turned up, have they? Not a sausage from them today. In a match where they would ordinarily have been competitive. Nothing yet from the Wolf. Odds on pre-match. Not the sharpest tools in the box themselves. No shots on target. Very, very slight or negligible momentum. So really not the kind of match I want to fixate on too much there. Will Heidenheim be gettable at some point? Will Wolfsburg's momentum start rising? Don't forget, they will be in the blue. They will be in the blue. It looks like the brown are on top at the moment. This must-win territory for Heidenheim. Peterborough, well, 0.19 expected goals. They are a great side to have been following recently, but they're not showing it today. Plymouth are really digging in. And you can see the fact they're not even on this list here. They must be in relegation trouble, Plymouth. That's another reason this part of the season could be very difficult for us to trust. But Peterborough really put together a good run of late. We can have a quick look. Unless I'm mistaken, Premier League, Championship, League One. Plymouth and Peterborough. Peterborough not even been odds on recently in a few of their matches, and they have been delivering. And it's really pushed them up out of the relegation zone. They have been quite superb. It's taking a while for this to load. So let me have a quick look at the head-to-heads while it's half-time. So you can see this has really caught my eye. And in a vast majority of these matches, they've not been odds-on favourite. So it's been very impressive from Peterborough. Got another suspended market. That could be the end of the Frosinone match. Sheffield United, 2 red cards, says Bosun. Thank you very much for that, Bosun. A bit like Penafiel earlier on. Surely their opponents must take advantage of that. Plymouth have been in decent nick themselves as well. Plymouth have been in very decent nick. Well, we've got a goal coming in. Mallorca against Atletico Bilbao. Let me just get back to Peterborough. So you can see why I like Peterborough. Only the one loss at home since the 8th of November. Looking at the two relative to each other. 10th against 16th. One defeat was 1-0. One defeat was 1 goal in it. Plymouth, a 1-0 win. 2-3 against Luton, fair enough. 1-1 against Stevenage and 1-0 win. Well, they're all 1 goal in it, so I don't know what to do. So normally, if you don't know what to do, don't do anything. Would be the best thing. They just caught my eye this season, Peterborough, with that recent run of form. That's the reason why I got excited when they're a goal down and excited when they're odds on. But quite clearly, Plymouth's expected goals is the dominant force here. Köln and Mainz, do we have any late goal expectations here? It is a relegation 6-pointer, arguably. Again, heading off to soccerstats.com, we can have a look at Köln and Mainz's goal times table. That's the crucial bit of information that we'll need. So we work our way down. View stats and matches for both teams. And let's have a look. It conceded in the last 11, but it's the goal times that are important. Look at these two, Köln and Mainz. Köln, unbeaten, home and away against 11th and lower. A few 1-1 draws, which they've got at the moment. They only scored 1 goal against Mainz previously. But this is a must-get 3 points. And look at that. But does it convert at home? Indeed, it does. So 75th minute onwards, we might be getting some late action. You can see in FC Köln's home matches. Can you see those 2 bars? 6 and 5. 6 goals scored. 5 goals conceded in the last 15 minutes. How about Mainz away from home? Look at that red bar. Does that convert away from home? Wow. 7 goals conceded by Mainz in the last 15 minutes. That should be a green light to lay the late draw. Well done to Venezia. 3-1. That's what we wanted. But boy, oh boy, they made them sweat. Thank you very much for Bosun. Sheffield United, as you can see there, 2 red cards. Do check, though. One of them might be a player. One of them might be a manager or managerial staff. So just double check that when you've got 2 red cards. If it's 9 men, then Charlton Athletic should be licking their lips. Liverpool-Burnley, we can get rid of that one. Hamburger, just disappointing today, aren't they? Disappointing. 20 minutes to go. Dominated the match. And they've tended to score goals second half. About the 70th minute is when they got the winner against Werder Bremen. So I don't know what's up with them today. And looks like fun and games. Mallorca and Atletico Bilbao, not really a match I'm interested in with that European element. And the lack of interest, really, from Atletico Bilbao. They've just been in really, really poor form recently. So it's not a match to really worry yourselves too much about. Elsewhere, well, we're still looking for Wolfsburg to come alive, aren't we? This is what I like about these momentum graphs that you're seeing here. Oh, I thought we were frozen a bit, but we're not. Okay. That's what I like about these momentum graphs. You saw it change, didn't you, with Venezia there. Nothing doing for the Wolf. You want to see them at their highest. And now we see a sudden rise. Look, can you see that there? Get that line away. The sudden rise in this, the momentum, is the highest it's been all match. See that table there? That's what you like to see. And then what we want to see following that is for the XG to start rising. So we're getting some quality chances. 0.3 is very poor. And we want to see some shots on target. So we want to see 1, 2, 3 aligned. And then there's a possibility that we could have a late lay of Heidenheim. So watch out for that. Köln are picking up a hell of a lot of shots off target. And you look at the stark contrast here with their momentum graph rising very nicely, isn't it? And staying consistently at about 75. Look at their opponents. They're miles ahead of them. So since probably the second half, you can see that goal time-wise, which is great. They have bossed the second half FC Köln by some margin. Contrast that with Hamburg, and it's gone off a cliff, hasn't it, really? We needed to get them scoring when they hit 100, but they've not really reached those heights. And the graph, the momentum is diminishing, while their opponents have remained level, kept under wraps, but they're starting to rise just at the wrong part of the match now, aren't they? Mönchengladbach. Not going to be playing the Hoff today, so I think I'll get rid of that one just to avoid being tempted in. Peterborough, again, have a look at the momentum graph if we can get it coming up in isolation. So hover your mouse over the momentum and you'll see they've just started to rise at the end of the first half. But we need that consistent rise now. We need them to overcome their opponent's highest high, which was 50s. Now you can see the Wolf. This is more like it, isn't it? This might interest me in a possible lay of Heidenheim if we can get that graph rising. So that could interest me. Let's have a look. It's pretty high insurance, isn't it? I would like to do the insurance personally myself. I wouldn't recommend you do it, but I'm just used to doing it because if we fall foul, the loss is a big one. What you can do otherwise is just wait for the odds to get shorter, or alternatively, just have a little tickle at the Wolf, because if they score, you're not going to be seeing 11.5 anymore. So at least have a look in. Sorry, Stuart has just updated us a little. Sheffield United 2 red cards. Stuart, Dortmund 2-2. Wow. Pre-Champions League, Stuart. So if you did fancy them, hopefully you cashed out earlier on. 2-2. St. Pauli, relegation threatened side as well. So thank you very much, Stuart. That could be a Desmond waiting to get got, I think. That could certainly be one to target, to have that match up and running. Both sides could do with a win, but do remember, Stuart, this is pre-Champions League. So you've got a reason why teams like Dortmund, like Atalanta yesterday against Pisa, got the goal, got me the profit. But Pisa equalised late on. Monaco equalised but lost 1-3. They're just, I know it's a long way to the Champions League, but it's just that distraction. And this could be what's going on. What you've got is Champions League distraction, relegation 6-pointer. So the draw is getting odds on. Dortmund, though, do tend to get out of jail, but they've already scored the 2 goals we expected them to score. So this is a strange one. They've already got the 2 goals we expected them to get. So I wouldn't have bothered with that match, to be honest. But certainly a late Desmond Tutu might be in order. While we have the Bundesliga up, we can have a look at this match as well. And you can see for yourself, St. Pauli's need is great at this part of the season. Don't forget the last time these two met, it was a 3-3. Opening match of the season. Remember that? Great start to the season for St. Pauli. But I'm afraid it's all gone Lionel Blair since then. Awful stuff. Dortmund have only been beaten by Bayern Munich this season. So really, they'll be scoring 3 goals as well. So that's a warning for St. Pauli. Scored 3 against Frankfurt when they were leading, I think. No, they had to come back. Carney Chukwuemeka getting a 90th minute equaliser against Frank. Scored 3 goals against Werder Bremen with relative ease. Guerassi, Sabitzer and Schotterbeck. So they're getting a lot of goals spread throughout the team. That's 6 goals scored by 6 different players in the last 2 matches. Maximilian Bier, 90th minute. Let's have a look at the goal times. 83rd, 90th, 90th. So we've had 3 of them, 90th recently. St. Pauli, 88th minute concession. Ouch. Oh, that's going to hurt. 90th minute, Ricky J. Jones. I remember that one. 90th minute, 90th minute. So there's plenty of 90th minute action here. So if you're going to get involved, Stuart. And there's the Wolf equaliser. I wish I'd played. Did I play? I was heading to the match. Yes, I was going to play, wasn't I? I was going to do it with insurance. I got distracted. Oh, I've done it already. Yeah. This was just a dip your toe in, wasn't it? And you can see it's paid off. So I know it's a very low stake, but I'll just add it to the collection. If that losing play we've got, Southampton doesn't come in, this will take a quarter of the liability away. So it will take a bit of the heartache off if the Saints don't deliver. So let's see if I can get out. I'll wait for that one. There we go. So that's just going to take a bit. Do remember that if you're nursing a loss, try to hoover up your greens to make sure that that loss doesn't hurt you at the end of the session. So good stuff there with a 1-1. I should have really got stuck in. What I was going to be doing there, I was going to lay over 1.5 goals and I was going to back the Wolf +1 because it would have been pretty decent odds. All the way up here. And then you get the drop down, which we're probably not going to see. But a good call. And now, was it any coincidence that suddenly that momentum is rising? And that's when you start thinking, hang on a sec, this lot are odds on favourite. They're a goal down, and they're suddenly bossing the match. This is the highest momentum it's been for the whole of the match. So I hope you got involved there, Stuart, and everybody else got involved, because that was an excellent call. Good stuff from Wolfsburg. Probably going to push on and get the win now, you would suspect. We're going to keep an eye on the Dortmund match because that's got a good story to it, doesn't it? Dortmund have scored 3 goals in each of the last 2 matches. 3-3 last time these two met. Too high for me to be laying a Desmond at those odds, particularly pre-Champions League. I'm not going to be risking that without doing some kind of an insurance on it. No way. Even though Dortmund might pull it off, I'm not going to risk it. So let's have a look through some of the matches we've been ignoring as we're coming to the end of the German Bundesliga. Momentum has started to drop now, hasn't it? For FC Köln, as you can see here. That's a pity. Started to drop. And indeed, Borussia Mönchengladbach have taken over the momentum. Hamburg have just been awful, haven't they, today? This is normally a match. Yeah, that's the confirmation of the 1-1. No coincidence that, look at that, it's the highest point they've hit. And look at that rise. If you see that in the future, look at that rise. That's your green light to remind yourself, odds on favourite at home, only a goal down to the bottom of the league side. This is an excellent graph that you should be looking out for. Could be a similar story for Peterborough, could it not? If we can get rid of that graph now. Peterborough is starting to rise up. They are odds on at home. They have been excellent this season. Don't forget that 2.64 expected goals for Plymouth is largely first half based. And look at the Wolves now, really going for glory there. Look, they have the bit between their teeth. So I'll just bring up the live scores so we can keep an eye on what's going on. And I'll have a look around them. There's a Charlton Athletic goal. So thank you very much, Bosun, telling us about Sheffield United. Did you lay that draw second half? I'm sorry you missed out on that one. If you didn't, I'm sorry I didn't remind you. I should really have reminded you there. What a pity I didn't. So are we going to see anything late from Wolfsburg? Are we going to see them get that winner? They are bossing the match late on now. Can they get a winner? So as you can see, the goals are coming in at Football 24. And we got a goal from FC Köln. That was certainly one to eye for a late lay the draw, wasn't it? Did you get involved before I did? You've just seen that goal pop in for FC Köln. Dortmund St. Pauli is a Desmond worth taking on. I would be doing it 1.25 and lower. Hamburg have just been an awful disappointment this match or this season. Not this season, but today. Awful. Anything doing in the Premier League? Well, let's do a catch-up of the Premier League. It's moving to this. Hopefully you'll see it. So I've been ignoring the Champions League, really. It's not been a tradable league today. Too many derby matches. Two sides in very good form. Yeah, Köln have got the winner against Mainz. Did you lay that late draw? Wolfsburg, 110. Wolfsburg, 110 momentum. Are we going to see a winner from them? Are we going to see that winner coming from behind? It's 1-1 currently, despite what Football 24 tells you. Where are they? 1-1, yeah. So are they going to get that winner? So you might want to look at laying that draw 1.2, 1.25 or lower. Just looking at the Premier League. And, well, again, Peterborough just gone off the boil momentum-wise, haven't they? I'm just going to put the old vibration machine up so I can get a bit of a workout. So let's catch up with the Premier League. We've been ignoring that for a bit. Just looking at the goals coming in. Sunderland and Palace, I don't have an opinion on, apart from really to have looked at taking Palace on, but far too quick, the response from unbeaten at home Black Cats. Chelsea and Brentford is a London derby. Liam Rosinia, new match syndrome, London derby, too difficult to call. Brentford are the form side by a country mile in this particular match. Elsewhere, Leeds and Fulham, too tough to call. Fulham putting together an unbeaten run. Leeds have only been beaten recently by a team who had to score 4 goals to get the win. Normally, they've got 3 or 4 goals in the locker, but this Fulham side, you can see both sides have been very, very evenly matched today. It's a difficult one for me to pick out. I'm afraid I don't have a strong opinion. We're hoping that the Saints will score the next goal so we can get an out in that Southampton play. I shouldn't have played, to be honest with you. I was tempted by that injury crisis, despite the fact that Hull have by far the better team form by a country mile this season. I should have stuck to my guns, looked at the form and said, they don't look like outsiders to me. We will see. Saints are priced to score 3 goals again, but they're in awful form coming into this particular match. Let's just have a quick look through some of the peripheral matches, and then we can have a look at our odds-on favourites as well. I'm just going to tidy this one up, get rid of some of the matches we don't need. Might pick up something along the way. This is why I do it like this. Something might stand out that I can put onto my watch list. So I'll speed up with these lower tiers. Secunda is worth looking at. Primera, Mallorca, Atletico Bilbao, another Desmond Tutu. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it. Scottish League 2 can't be traded, I'm afraid. The FA Cup, is that going to be of any interest? Any familiar names? Might see something here. This is Premier League against Championship and a relegation-threatened Championship side as well. Dundee United Premier League themselves as well. Maybe a liquidity issue in the Scottish FA Cup. Saudi Arabia has been a pretty tradable league, to be honest. Big names. The likes of Karim Benzema, et al., Ronaldo, and a few others who've been pinched by the big bucks. It's becoming a bit more liquid as well now that it's at a time that is friendly to Westerners. So it could be a league for you. Just keep an eye out. It should be fairly readable because all the big names, like if you've got Karim Benzema on your side, he's an absolute standout. If they're a goal down, as they were yesterday, you just take some insurance out and wait for Karim to hopefully score. But he didn't yesterday. They lost 0-1. Al Ittifaq, I think they are. So I'll just get rid of a few of these as we work our way down. Eredivisie. Well, it's a 2-0 lead for Ajax. It's not a going day for the Go Ahead Eagles, but the last 2 matches Go Ahead Eagles have played, they've been very, very tradable because they've turned up in the in-play stats. But it looks like there's an obvious gap between Ajax and Go Ahead today. Obvious gap in quality, as you can quite clearly see. So no real play for me there. Coming to the end, Empoli and Südtirol. Monza and Froz were already at the end of these ones. Great plays from them. I liked the Venezia call. I thought that was a well thought out one. Hoff and Bayer starting to move the momentum up, aren't they? But I'm not going to be laying the mighty Hoff. Desmond Tutu. Well, we're at that stage now where it's at a good price if you wanted to lay. Let's just see if I can give you the price. 1.22 to lay the draw. We've got to just check the momentum lines now for Dortmund. Both of them, well, Dortmund hitting 75, just starting to rise slowly, but there's no dominant team at the end of the match. There's no, like you saw with Wolfsburg, there's no dominant side, just zooming up the momentum graph, as you can see there. But I would get involved, 1.1 or lower, I think, because it's pre-Champions League. I want to keep my liability as low as possible. So what I'm going to do, it's 2-2. Okay, I thought it was going to say it's 2-3. So this will be 1. I'm going to do a 1.0 and a 1.06. So let me just get this for you. So we're at 23s. Oh, damn, I didn't press confirm. So I'm going to get out of this. 1.09, 23 quid. 1.06, 32 quid. Both of these two sides could really do with points, but any underperformance from Dortmund today will be because it's pre-Champions League. So that's why I need to really keep that liability low. Got to keep that liability as low as possible with that Champions League concern. Get rid of FC Köln now. Well, Hamburg should really have won this comfortably, but it seems to be, oh, fun and games, pre-Champions League, Liverpool and Burnley. Oh, we've got some fun and games there. Now, this is a typical pre-Champions League conundrum, like the Man City loss earlier on. Are Liverpool going to get out of jail? Can they be trusted with their usual 90th plus minute winner? We will see. Wolfsburg is still 1-1. They're just showing, keep showing 0-1 for some reason. So I'll get rid of that. We'll have a look at our odds-on favourites as well. We've ignored them. Have a walk through, and you can see that Liverpool problem, 1-1. So Zulte Waregem and Genk, odds-on favourites, not scored yet. Chelsea are leading Brentford, but don't have a strong play. Tottenham were odds-on against West Ham, but this is a relegation 6-pointer for the Hammers, and it's a London derby, so anything can happen. Thank you very much to Bosun for this. I hope you pulled the trigger yourselves. I hope you pulled the trigger at that 0-0 Charlton and 9 men Sheffield United. Just waiting really to see whether Southampton can get a goal against an apparently injury-ravaged Hull, but they're not performing. They're performing like the team we expected them to see on the season-long form. Odds-on favourites at home, Barnsley doing a job. Peterborough still a goal down, but haven't really got involved. Stockport and Rotherham is a Desmond 2-2. Odds-on favourites, Gillingham did get the equaliser against Newport. Is there going to be a late lay the draw there? And Shrewsbury have done the job. Wolfsburg didn't get the winner, but they did get the equaliser. So I hope you played that one. And there's a late pen for Dortmund. Did our Desmonds, or did we get touched? No, we didn't. Oh, man. This is the problem with me being a greedy old bar steward. Looking for 109. If you laid beforehand, let me know. You don't have to follow me religiously. The only reason I was this cautious is because it's pre-Champions League. But if you did lay the draw at 1.25 or lower, congratulations. A late pen for Dortmund saves their blushes pre-Champions League, I didn't get matched. Oh, calling it right, but not getting matched. It's very, very disappointing. So let me know if you did. Stuart got in at 1.3, which is excellent. Well done, Stuart. I'm glad you got involved earlier than I did. Good story behind it as well. Both teams needing the points. This is your archetypal Desmond, isn't it? Both teams needing the win. And both teams, obviously, willing to score and concede goals. Oh, disappointed that. Winterthur has been postponed. Lord knows how they were odds-on favourite today. Absolutely mental. Were St. Gallen playing with eight players or something, because absolutely ridiculous to have the odds-on. But it has been postponed. The Winterthur match, we got them earlier on this week against Sion. I noted they were bottom of the league, and that's something you can look out for. So I hope you got on the Desmonds. Simon got a 1 point only. Did you get matched, Simon? I hope you got matched. That would have been brilliant had you got matched. And the Spuds have equalised. Odds-on favourites equalised. But I'm not going to be playing London derbies. Simple as that. Particularly with the Hammers' desperate need for points, suggesting they could have done something. Look at the Peterborough match, and you'll see why I haven't pulled the trigger yet. The brown is the away side. The brown is the away side, not the odds-on favourite at home. You can see why I'm very, very reluctant to have had a go today. Yes, insurance is paying off if you did play, but they've just not turned up, have they? They had a little bit of a spin before half-time and at the beginning of the second half. But I think probably possible substitutions for Plymouth have improved their momentum. And this could score that second goal. So I'm not going to be playing Peterborough, even though I do like them this season. Kerry Brown got in at 1.29. Excellent stuff. So I'm glad. Martin, 1.15. So brilliant. I'm glad a few of you got in at decent short odds. I hope you cleaned up there. That's excellent. Well done. Burton had Albion and Huddersfield. Again, if you look at the momentum graph for the odds-on favourite away from home, they're in brown, by the way, and you can see it's coming in waves, isn't it? They're not really doing anything. There's been a dominant strike twice from Burton Albion. Again, yes, the expected goals for Huddersfield is excellent, 1.36, but they're not following up momentum-wise. So, and look at the XG for Plymouth, suggesting they're creating plenty of chances to put this one to bed quite easily, but they're not doing anything. You can quite clearly see there. And Sunderland are making it 2-1 against Palace, pre-Europe Palace. It's a match I missed, but if you're playing the home form, well done. If you're playing that home form, just have to show you it here. Quite remarkable home form for the Black Cats. And this is when to get the sides like Palace. Pre-European club competition. Look at this brilliant form at home. Palace, bitty, you'll have to say. They lost to first, can beat third, and then lose to Newcastle. Then they can beat Fulham, but lose to Everton. So it's very strange, bitty form. Excellent performance from the Black Cats so far. And we're going to go back from Saints. So this could help us out. This could help us out. Damage limitation if you're not trusting the Saints today. Well, the goal has not come early enough for damage limitation, but you can see, taking into account that £10 profit I made on Wolfsburg, should have been a lot more. I can now get out with effectively a £14 red. So that tempts me because they haven't turned up today, really. 20 minutes to go now. At 1.5, you're normally expecting the Saints to be getting 3+ goals. So it's a difficult match for me to look at. We're focusing on the momentum graph, and you can see they've hit the 50, but they've been higher than that. But they've hit the 50 and got the goal. 2.17 XG. Are you tempted by that to stay in and look for the 2-2? You do have an opportunity to cash out. Don't forget, take 10 quid away, for example. Should have been a lot more without Wolfsburg, because I should have played that properly rather than just a token. I can't show you it now because unless I've got it saved here. So now that takes on a little bit more importance now. You take that, shave that off this, and you're dealing with a 13 quid red rather than taking this hit there. And I think I can't take a 50 quid loss here. I could get involved again. So this is not really a £23 loss for me. It's a 13 quid loss, which is very, very tolerable because I got involved with a wolf. So that's my choice. You can stay in if you want. Positives, 2.17 expected goals. Another positive, Hull have not dominated the momentum at all, apart from one small period at the beginning of the match and one very, very small period at the end of the first half. Second half has belonged to the Saints. Is that injury crisis going to affect Hull, Southampton, affect Hull late into the match? It's the squad players. Are they going to be stretched? So please don't follow me implicitly, as indeed you didn't do that lay of Dortmund earlier on, or the lay of the draw earlier on. You got involved before I did, which is great. So have a think for yourselves. Are you willing to take a hit on old Rod in the hope that you get the 2-2? You could lay over 3.5 goals if it's reasonable enough. Not really, because it's going to cost you about evens, isn't it? So that's not really a goer at the moment. So I'm happy to take the hit there because it's just been diminished a little by that Wolfsburg profit, which should have been a lot higher. I was very, very keen on them. What I would have done with that was lay over 1.5 goals, about 1.76. Back the Wolf, you'd have got something decent like 2.8, 3.4, something like that. Really nice return if they get that equaliser, which indeed they did. Nothing much doing goals-wise at the moment. Let's take a walk through the odds-on list. And Genk have got the goal. Liverpool and Burnley, we're going to keep an eye on that one. This could be a 90th minute Liverpool winner. Typical pre-Champions League performance. Huffing and puffing. I should have done Club Brugge yesterday as well as short odds. 2-0 up with 10 men. Pre-Champions League, and they lost 2-3. Should have really got involved. This is the time to take on these sides when they look bankers, but you know it's pre-Champions League. Just having a walk through. Nothing really much appeals from these lower tiers. Lens are kicking off against Auxerre. A chance for Lens. With Paris Saint-Germain winning earlier on, Lens really need the win today because they've wrestled top away from them. A win takes Lens back on top. Don't forget, this is live standing, so this is the amount of matches they've played. They will go top today with a win, not with a draw. So it's a match well worth focusing on today. I've liked Lens from what I've seen of them. So I'm going to be finding where they are down here as we just get rid of a few more of these matches which don't interest. Now we're in France. Let's get to French Ligue 2, French Ligue 1. And there's Lens and Auxerre. So Auxerre, you might find them in a spot of bother. Let's have a look. Indeed, they are. This is why you're getting a tough match. That's where you're getting a tough encounter for Lens today. They're playing a relegation threatened side. European friendlies, I'm not going to be touching with a barge pole, even though we've got some familiar names like Malmo. Not going to be touching them at all. And we can't be playing these lower tiers, even though Corn are playing today. They're leading 3-1. English Premier League 2 is quite good for goals. And quite soon... Oh, I just got rid of the Liverpool match. Damn. I totally not to waste. I wish I had an undo button here, because now I have to undo all of this just to get the Liverpool match back, which is ridiculous. If we had an undo button, that would be great. So I'm just going to go back. 2-0 for Chelsea against Brentford. New manager bounce. Well, Liverpool 2.17 XG. Looks a good lay the draw at some point. But don't forget, like Dortmund, pre-Champions League, like Atalanta yesterday, 1-0 lead, turning into a 1-1 late on. It might have to wait very, very late for any Liverpool winner if they are to get it. And you're going to start getting the Liverpool fans bleating if they don't get the win today, even though they don't understand. Pre-Champions League is the time that these sides are highly likely to cock it up. Talking of cocking it up, I don't expect Egypt to be doing much today. Too reliant on Mohamed Salah. It's all dependent on whether Nigeria turn up, because they were kept very, very quiet in their last match, the Nigerians. Very unlike them to be very, very quiet. Stoke and QPR, I don't have a strong opinion on, but 3 consecutive wins might have us interested in something from them at some point. But the real matches earlier on were Ipswich and Coventry. If you played Coventry, well done. But these lower tiers are going to get a bit of short shrift from me at the moment. So let's have a look at our momentum. It's still nothing doing at all from Peterborough, the posh. Nothing doing at odds on today against a Plymouth side in desperate need for points. This is typical, isn't it? They need the points. And Peterborough are going to have to start looking over their shoulder again, because the momentum they've picked up just waned a little. Huddersfield favourites. This just sticks to the momentum graph. Huddersfield favourite. And the Nigerians have the first goal against Egypt. And I can't really see the Egyptians getting out of this one. But we will see. 10 shots on, 17 off for the Reds. I could watch this one for you, but I'm not allowed to broadcast it. That would be the problem. Last shot on target, 77th minute. Last shot off target, 79th minute. Some point, the draw will be layable. A good opening gambit for Liam Rossinia's Chelsea. I think he was in charge of Stuttgart, not Strasbourg, who did very well to be top 4 for a while in French League. Nothing doing from Sheffield Wednesday. They're already conceded, so we can get rid of that one. Salta Varagem and Genk. Southampton, can we get that second goal? I've already bailed out because it's not impacted me too much, given wins elsewhere. But Hull might be gettable late on because of that injury crisis. They might not have their first 11 out. They might not be match fit. So we'll keep an eye on that one late on. Tottenham and West Ham I'm not going to play, so I don't want to be tempted in. And there we go. Odds on favourite away from home. No momentum at all. And this momentum graph can help you stay away from obvious plays. So we can get rid of that one. Cup matches, not wholly interested in. Stoke and QPR, 3 consecutive wins is what caught my eye there. What we need at the end of this match, well, we see that Stoke have been dominating in bursts. Every 15, every half an hour, really. 15th, 45th, and now 75th. 3 consecutive wins in all competitions. Not too shabby. Are we going to see any late plays? Well, the last shot on target 6 minutes ago. That's it, really. Only shot on target 6 minutes ago. 1 shot on, 2 off second half. So a real defensive display from QPR, who've done little themselves. Mallorca normally should be expecting a win at home. It's a Desmond Tutu, and it looks like the European club side, Athletic Bilbao, involved in the Europa League, I think. 7 shots on, 8 off. They are the better side on paper. So this Desmond might be vulnerable, but I'm not going to be laying the draw just yet with that European element involved. Egypt, the only way out is if they can get Mohamed Salah to score a goal. He's got them so many last gasp goals, which have got them the draw or got them the win. But he's up against it. Still the first half only, though. So team talk will help matters. Just get rid of a few of these. And we'll have another look at our odds-ons, see if there's anything that we can get late on. Lens remains 1-0. 0-0, sorry. I don't think Lens are involved in Europe this year. They probably will be involved in Europe next year. We can do a quick check. Lens in Europe. Let's have a look. No, they're not. Because if they were, they would be, their next match would be there. They're not involved in European club competition at all. They will be next year, though. Could we want to lay the draw second half? I think been very, very good. But this is yet another one of those matches where a relegation threatened side is making it very, very tough to score against. 1 shot on, 1 off. 0.16 XG. Absolutely strangled the life out of their attacking lineup, haven't they, Orcs there? So this is what you're going to be getting. January, February, March and April. Relegation threatened sides changing their tactics to make themselves incredibly difficult to beat. No surprise that we're getting that kind of a performance from Lens today. Super Cali go ballistic. Celtic are atrocious. They're playing Spartans today. Oh, we got a goal back from Go Ahead Eagles. I have liked Go Ahead Eagles the last 3 matches, but wasn't seeing anything there to suggest they would. Again, it's a 2-0 lead for a side possibly in Europe. You really should be taking them on when it's not costing you any money. FA Cup, nothing much appeals. No, we're coming to the end of the 4:45s, and I'll say goodnight to you. But I will be staying on, trying to make some more dough this evening. So I'll be heading back to Thailand on the 1st of February, but then maybe moving back to Guernsey for a little bit as my parents get older, maybe help them out. Since I lost all my dough, I think it's more important to stay nearer to family at this stage, because they're the ones who really support you when you're in a spot of bother. So maybe a move to Guernsey will help. A few more of these go lives, because in Thai time they're very difficult to do. But over here, now we know how to do them. I can pop on these willy-nilly. Liverpool 105. Are you going to be laying the draw just yet? Are you going to be laying the draw just yet? You know what 105 normally suggests. And Newport have got the goal against Gillingham. This is exactly what I'm talking about. League 2, 1.56 favourite. Look at that momentum there. Zoom. So Liverpool are hitting the heights as well. So you might want to have a look or prepare yourself at the very least for a Liverpool winner, if there's going to be a Liverpool winner. Any value? Are you willing to take the draw now? You can see it's going to cost you. Well, it's not going to cost you too much. Full liability normally for me. And it's a decent return, isn't it? Laying over 2.5 goals. Well, you can't really do that to cover the 1-1. Correct score. If you were just a bit worried that they couldn't cross the line, well, it's going to cost you too much, isn't it? But always worth doing the maths. Again, it's an illiquid market. So you want to break even, but look at that. It's ridiculous. Just to cover the 0-0. That's it's pre-Champions League. That's why I'm cautious. You're going to get the odd cock up like this. If you were watching Atalanta yesterday, that's the kind of thing we're going to get. But they are getting there or thereabouts, Liverpool. 89th minute. I would certainly get involved 1.25 and lower. That's for sure. But I'm quite happy to give it some breathing space because it's pre-Champions League. Do check these out for yourself. Liverpool in European football. 21st of January away at Marseille. That is going to be an incredibly difficult match for Liverpool. Why? Because Marseille at home are an incredibly tough side to beat. But the momentum is there with Liverpool. If they can get that 3 points, they'll be happily ensconced in the top 8, which is a vitally important section of the top 24. Marseille 16th, can be caught. 24th is only 7 points. But again, 12 points for Marseille could have them swapping places with Liverpool or being next to Liverpool. So at home, very, very tough side. Paris Saint-Germain lost to them. Very, very tough team. So this is the problem. Probable changes for the Liverpool team as well, you'd suggest. But we're getting to that part now. We're at 1.25 or lower. 1.25 or 100 momentum. 1.25 or lower, I'll be happy to start laying the draw there. It could be a last gasp winner. Soberslide missed the penalty. Oh dear, you absolute tool. And why on earth are they bringing goal machine Federico Chiesa on? Look at the amount of goals he's been scoring of late. What a goal machine. Oh yeah, no. Illness on bench, no. Oh, wonderful player. Wonderful. Superb stuff from the goal machine, Federico Chiesa. No, on the 26th of November. No goals there. Oh, he got a yellow card. Oh, he's earning his corn there. No goals there. No goals there either. On the bench, no goals, no goals, no goals, no goals. On the bench, knock. Oh, hang on a sec. He scored a goal. Tell your grandparents. 27th of September. What on earth is this manager doing, bringing goal machine Federico Chiesa on? Absolutely ridiculous. The draw's getting nice and low, though, to lay. 7 minutes injury time, says Stuart. So it's going to be a nice one. All the way. Well, Gillingham have got it back to 2-2. So those of you who stayed with the odds-on status, well, that could be a late win. But we've missed all the fun then at the 1-2. But we're getting to that stage now with the mighty goal machine Federico Chiesa on the pitch. I could just start putting them in now. I might up this to a tenner. So what would happen here? My liability would double. So 1.25 for a tenner. 1.19 for a tenner. 1.14 for a tenner. 1.09. So it'd normally be 22 quid now, because that's just under 2 quid. And 1.06 would be 32 quid, because that's just under 2 quid. Because we've got the mighty goal machine Federico Chiesa on the pitch, that's why I've doubled my money, he said sarcastically. So that'll be my play there. I know what my maximum liability will be. It'll be about £10. But this is a typical pre-Champions League performance. These sides are going to slip up. It's just a matter of finding which ones are going to do it and which ones are going to be safe. We've already had Monaco, Atletico Bilbao, nearly Dortmund, Atalanta. Look at this, Atletico Bilbao cocking it up. Pre-European club competition. It just happens time and time again. Can't be trusted. That's why I kept my liability low in Dortmund, and I'm doing the same here. Good luck if you're trusting Federico Chiesa to get you a winner. Well, good luck with that one. Peterborough, not their day today. Thankfully, I didn't get involved. And this is what this momentum graph can help you with. Help you stay away from some of these matches. Leeds have got a goal against Fulham. 90th minute. Well, I wouldn't have laid the draw there because these two are in such good form, both of them. It could as easily have ended a 0-0, particularly with momentum like that. Flat as a pancake. Wow, Leeds will be absolutely delighted with that one. I don't know if Stuart played that one or not. Did you lay the late draw there, Stuart? Because you seem to be interested in the scoreline. Great stuff from Leeds United, having a brilliant season. I think I'm vindicated getting out of that Southampton play. I'll take that net £13 loss. Much better than a 40. Can you imagine taking a 48 quid hit on that? Seasonal form for Hull, far too good for them to have been dismissed like this, despite injury crisis or anything. Southampton have not been scoring their 3 goals of late. Price do. I thought Hull were bottom of the league, but no. So vindicated there. Sometimes you have to let the ego go and take the hit. And it makes it more important as well to collect green screens when you've made a loss on something else, so you can eat in to that liability that you've lost. Gillingham and Newport might be a Desmond for you to take on, given the Gills have come from behind twice now. They look up for it at odds on, and the graph has gone mental. But please, 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 English League 2, it's got to be 1.09 or lower if you're going to play that. Stoke looks like they're leaving the opportunity go here, but 2.15 to favourite is not the odds. We've got a suspended market. Have Liverpool conjured up a goal? We'll soon find out. We've got a suspended market. Maybe one of the matches I was interested in has ended. Great result for Sunderland, remaining unbeaten at home. And well done to Bosun for passing this on. I'm sorry I didn't play this one. I should have done. And vindicated, Southampton and Hull. Got out. 48 quid I was staring at. And I don't like taking that kind of a hit, especially when it was avoidable, having done the research. So that single goal, when you've done your averaging up, you saw me, I backed Saints for a £5. I laid Hull £5 as liability. It just averages the odds out. So when you get a 1-2, you can actually make a lot less of a loss. Sometimes, depending on that 1-2 timing, it can be a break even. So we're just waiting on Liverpool now. As I think Stuart has said, 7 minutes extra time. Or, yeah, 7 minutes extra time there. Looks like this has ended. And that's my maximum liability when I double it up to a tenner. But look at the reward, 82 quid. Now this is a typical pre-Champions League scoreline. It's going to happen. We don't know who it's going to happen to, but it's going to happen. End of the match, 1-1, bang. So I hope you've learnt your lesson there. They may be 1.22 at home, but it is pre-Champions League. You saw Man City losing earlier on. Tottenham equalising, but not winning. Tottenham losing. Wow. This West Ham will be absolutely delighted with this pre-Champions League. You get the idea. Let's go through. Pre-Champions League. Pre-Champions League. Good stuff. New manager syndrome. Pre-Europe, but performing well. How about our old pals, Atletico Bilbao, red carded, and pre-European club competition. So I hope you've been warned by that. Lens, likely to be a play second half, but yet again, they're playing a bottom side who can park not just a bus, but a double-decker bus. And hopefully nick a 1-0 at some point. Pre-Europa League, Atletico Bilbao. Ajax, are they in Europe? Because it's now 2-2. I'm gutted with this one. I told you about Go Ahead Eagles, the last two matches. Should have got involved at 2-0. They've been doing this in their last two matches, Go Ahead Eagles. Should really latch onto sides like this. What a pity. I'm just going to take you through the odds on for the evening, and then I'll say good night. Or not just the odds on, but let's have a look at all of the matches upcoming for the evening. So we've got Union Saint-Gilloise involved in European club competition. Oh boy, good luck with that one at odds on at home. We've got Nottingham Forest and Arsenal, pre-Champions League Arsenal. Shouldn't really be impacted. And there we go. Did you lay the Desmond? Gillingham. I gave it a slight mention. They could finish the job off. They've conceded twice. Look at that. Arsenal to come up shouldn't be impacted really. Nottingham Forest are just all over the shop. So I hope you got the Gillingham Desmond in. Let me know if you did. Brilliant. Later on, who else have we got later on? Marseille, as you know now, they're involved in the Champions League. Home to Liverpool. This could be a tough nut for them to crack tonight. Angers, desperate need for points. Saint-Etienne, not involved in Europe. Well worth following later on. Bayern Munich, involved in the Champions League, playing a Leipzig who have been excellent at home. This could be another one of those tough to call matches, that's for sure. Hertha Berlin, as I've alluded to, finding it so tough to get out of the Bundesliga 2. Even a side as big as them. They're playing top of the table Schalke, but it's a 2.4 the favourite match. Napoli, involved in Europe, where you've just seen Liverpool at 1-1. So you can't discount Sassuolo here. Cagliari, well, the Juventus have got an even tougher encounter away at Cagliari. AZ Alkmaar, I think they're involved in the Europa League away at Pek Zwolle, who got a 1-1 against Twente recently. PSV Eindhoven, involved in Europe, have been a pretty decent nick. Are they going to be troubled this evening? Benfica, the special one, are outside the top 24 in the Champions League places. So they're unbeaten this season in the La Liga Portugal. But this could be one of those 0-0s at half-time. 92nd minute, 0-1 off the arse of the fullback kind of a result for the special one. Watch out for that one if you're up and about at 8:30. Oviedo, well, it's not Europe. But Oviedo have trouble even scoring. Villarreal, involved in Europe, but not involved in Europe. They're just awful in the Champions League. Brilliant in La Liga. God awful in the Champions League. So I don't think they're going to be too bothered or distracted by the Champions League duties next week. Real Betis are pretty solid at home as well. If you did lay the draw in a Newport match, well done. Please avoid Napoli at all costs, says Bosun. Could be worth following that. I'm going to say goodnight to you now. This is the first go live. There's going to be a lot more of them. Now I know how it kind of works. And the great thing about the go live is we can do, you can see me in TARDIS mode now, I think. The great thing about the go live is I can just hop on at any time. So do make sure that you are subscribed to this YouTube channel, because I'd like to hop on now and again if we've got a good set of matches, particularly when I'm in on English time. Make use of the English time. Have a great day. Thanks very much for coming along. I'm going to end the session now, but I'll see you members at least on Telegram for a little bit longer. I've got more money to make. Thanks very much for your contributions as well. Some of them have really helped make us a little bit extra cash. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you members on Telegram for the rest of the evening.